welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick mini reading. I wasn't planning on doing a reading tonight or even this weekend, aside from the written channelings that I do over on my Instagram and on the community posts, etc., wherever I cross post. However, however, I did a quick reading over on TikTok. Make sure that you're following me on there for some collective readings. We're not diving deep into sacred partnership. At least I'm not trying to dive deep into sacred partnership over there. They're just going to be quick collective readings whenever I feel called to or have time. But as I was getting ready to shut down and just kind of, cozy up in bed and read a book for the night, I was hearing the song from Chicago, and I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. It's Hard to Say I'm Sorry by Chicago. And especially the part, after all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. That part, I just burst into sobs. That hit, as you can hear, I'm emotional now. That hit a part of my heart that I don't know if I've been keeping a guard up. I felt pretty balanced and at peace, joyful, happy, very present. Everything that I've been talking about in the past couple of Sacred Union Energy updates, that's how I've been feeling. And even when it comes to my connection, I've just been pretty trusting, accepting, faith-filled, just completely open, really, when it comes to this whole journey. But that hit something inside of me, and it's like it just broke me open. I don't know if it's because we've been on this journey with our counterparts, and it's been a tough journey and a long journey. I don't know if it's me personally, where I'm feeling my connection, where it's a little bit heartbreaking because my counterpart and I have been through so much together, and to this day, I'm still not quite sure what it was that really broke us completely apart. We had gotten into an argument, said some harsh words, said some true words, and then there was just no communication. And we had had no communication in the past, but it's never been this long. It's never been like this. And then 2 months after we stopped communicating, he blocked me. Meanwhile, I've just been looking deeper and deeper at myself, growing in love with myself, and allowing myself to release the connection at the same time being in this energy of trust and faith in the universe and God and my journey and my path, and just trusting in this connection at the same time. It's a very strange, it's a very strange, complicated feeling that this is. It feels like just complete surrender to whatever it is, while at the same time anchored into faith and knowing in my heart that I love my person and that my person has loved me. My counterpart, I should call him, not my person. But my counterpart has loved me. When I look at it from the higher perspective, when I look at it from the soul's journey, I can understand it and have that patience and have that faith and just be completely open. When I allow my human side to come in, it's love, and it's sadness, and it's a little bit of heartbreak. It doesn't feel heartbreaking anymore. I feel like I've moved a lot past that. Especially if you guys listened to me, I think it was like last week, right before New Year's. I was just moving through so much grief and so much mourning, and just letting all of that go and releasing all of that. And then I really shifted energy, and that new energy is still here. It's not going anywhere. So when I heard this song, it just kind of touched something inside of my soul, touched something inside of my heart that just opened me up with regards to my counterpart again, even more. And I feel like that's what's been happening is I'm open to the universe as a whole. I'm open to whatever the universe wants to bring to me as a whole. Wherever I'm being guided as a whole, wherever my path is leading me. But it feels like I'm being open more and more to my counterpart. And I don't know if that's being reflected in him and if he's being open more and more to me. I really have no idea. My ego still to this day And I don't know if I'll ever be able to really anchor this in. But still this day, my ego is just like, well, it's clear that he doesn't want anything to do with me. It's clear that he's forgotten me or moved on or whatever the situation is. Because like I said, we've been doing this journey together for 5 years with periods of separation, but it's never been quite like this. It's almost like we were in union and we fell out of union. Now, that's the ego. Soul knows that you've always been in union and you always are union. But when I'm using your union in that context, I mean from the physical perspective, that physical partnership, that physical commitment and relationship with each other where you are physically doing this together, right? So it's a battle of the ego and the mind a little bit right now. It's a battle of the 3D and the energy. It's a battle of the patience and trust and faith and the I don't really understand what I'm feeling and what's happening right now. So I thought we would do a reading and figure it out together. So that song really just touched something inside of my heart and opened me up more. There's a part of my ego still that wants to say, well, maybe he's not my counterpart. Maybe it's somebody else that the universe has in mind for me or, that I'm welcoming in. And I'm still open to that. My heart still has to be open to that, considering the circumstances as it presents itself in my physical reality. I can't deny my physical reality. And we're not meant to deny our physical realities. We're not meant to be waiting or holding ourselves back for somebody or something. But you also trust your intuition, and you also go where you're guided. And my intuition, my heart is just still with this person. Maybe that will change over time, but I've been on this journey for 5 years and it just keeps coming back to that. And I was talking with a friend the other day and I said, you know what? The universe has somehow always aligned it so that we come together. My intuition would always guide us back to each other or guide me back to him or him back to me. I don't necessarily know if the universe is going to guide us back together where we're going to have some kind of chance meeting. I don't know if he's actually going to take that conscious action. If he's going to listen to his intuition and have that desire or that want to come towards me in this connection. Or if it's going to be the universe that creates closure for us, if closure is what's meant for us. I don't know. And I feel like I've had to get really comfortable over the last couple of months with the not knowing. You've heard me talk about it as I've channeled before, this not knowing. I can't see ahead for the collective as a whole, even for the collective. I can't see ahead as to how this comes together. But I feel like that's been part of our journey as divine feminines, is we've had to get comfortable with the not knowing. We've had to learn how to tap into our intuition and just tap into our faith and just trust and be in that energy of flow. That doesn't mean that we just sit back and, just wait. We're not in a waiting room. We don't put our lives on hold. But when circumstances warrant it, for example, for 5 years, I was always the one that was approaching him, or I felt like I was always the one that was approaching him, trusting my intuition to reach out and communicate. And I just know that I'm not meant to. That that's part of me honoring myself. And so that's where I'm just trusting the universe, or even trusting him. That if he's ready, when he's ready, if he wants this, if he wanted this, then he would take some kind of action. And if we're meant to meet each other, if there's some kind of conclusion, if there's some kind of closure that needs to happen, which I don't feel that anymore. It just feels very accepting. If the universe wanted us to, we would come back together. That's not negating your own conscious choices. That's not negating your own energy, your own powers, so to speak, of manifestation or desire or will. It's just knowing that you're co-creating this with the universe. Of course, I want connection with my divine counterpart and a better connection than what we had in the past. But I've also surrendered. I don't have to force anything. I don't have to chase anything. I don't have to seek for anything. I just have to be in a place of trust and faith that it'll align if it's meant to. And if it's not happening, then there's a purpose for that too. That's where I have faith and that's where I have trust. I pulled 2 cards, just 2 cards, and then I knew I needed to start recording because I wanted to kind of see, do I even need to do a reading? What's going on here? Immediately, yes. Immediately, yes. 2 cards, the Page of Cups and the Fool. This feels like divine masculine energy. This could be your inner masculine energy as well. So take it for that. Take it for yourself as well. Because our connections are the greatest catalyst for us. They reflect to us. They are our divine mirror to show us ourselves. So this could be, for your own inner masculine as well. But I feel like the masculine energy is wanting to paint a new picture. You see, we have this canvas here. And previously I've gotten this message of, kind of like a blank slate. They understand. It's almost like there's like scar tissue. They understand what the connection had been like in the past. And it's not that they want to paint over it like it never happened. But it's all layered, right? Some of the most amazing paintings in history are layered. And that there's another painting on top. I'm just getting called to Leonardo da Vinci. And Leonardo da Vinci has been coming in for me a lot over the past couple of days and weeks. If you guys have been on the channel with me for a long time, when I did the daily energy draws, we did a channeling where I actually channeled Leonardo da Vinci. And I always wanted to dive back into that energy because it was so powerful and profound when it comes to our collective ascension journey. But I never have. But I think as we continue over into this year, I think we're going to be doing a lot more channelings with some ascended masters, of which he is one. He is an ascended master, maybe not in the realm of like Buddha and Jesus, but he is absolutely a master. There was always more than meets the eye with him, is what I always channeled. So he's been coming through. We're going to channel him again, but that's what I'm getting. It's like, there are curators, art curators, and historians, when they take away a layer of painting, there's another painting underneath. That's what this feels like. It feels like they don't want to completely disregard it. They know that there's some kind of scar tissue. They know that there's been pain and hurt in this connection. They know what you've been through and what you've been through together as a couple in this partnership, as sacred partners. But they do want to rewrite the story. They do want to start painting a new picture. And I feel like a lot of that is coming because they're seeing themselves in a new light. And so they don't want to keep painting on the old picture. I keep getting a lot of metaphors here. And it's like, Bob Ross is like happy little trees, right? Happy little mistakes. It's the energy of they don't want to look at all of their mistakes. They want to make something out of it. They want a new beginning. And with the Fool here as the second card that came out, they want to take this leap of faith. There's a lot of fear right now that feels like they're holding them back. I feel as soon as I said a leap of faith, I just got a surge of anxious energy where they might not know how to do this, but they know that it's going to be happy. They just have to work through whatever it is that they're experiencing, their fears, their anxieties that are holding them back. But they're changing the way that they look at themselves. They're changing the way that they look at this connection. And anywhere where they had made mistakes, they want to make something of it. They want to make it better. They want to turn those mistakes into something beautiful. They want to turn your connection into something beautiful. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I just keep hearing that. Oh my gosh, the Ten of Cups. Your person is dreaming about you. Your person can feel you. Your person knows that you and this connection is their happiness. And they want to take that leap of faith towards you. What's preventing this? What is preventing this? From either side, from you or from your divine masculine, what is preventing this? Because remember, again, your divine mirrors. The high priestess, timing is what I'm getting. Intuition. Trusting your intuition. Your person is not trusting their intuition completely yet. They're not trusting their intuition. That's what's getting them caught up in their ego. That's what's getting them caught up in that anxiety and that fear, that self-imprisonment. It's like we've gotten this quite a lot over the past couple of months and even the past year, where it's like they want to take a step forward, but then they pull themselves back. And that's basically been this whole journey, right? That's the push and pull energy that you felt towards each other. That's what your person is overcoming, and they're overcoming it by trusting their intuition more. Your job, divine feminine, what's holding you back is also trusting your intuition. I say it all the time. As soon as I hit record, that's when I start channeling, even though I'm sharing my personal experiences. Because how I channel is through my personal experiences as well, to help the collective kind of understand through anecdotes what's being channeled. But you take it as it resonates for you. You apply it, if it applies, to your scenario and to your situation. It's no coincidence that I talked about how I was in this energy of knowing that I need to have patience and faith, while also knowing that I'm continuing to walk my sacred path, not holding myself back, and just kind of being open to whatever possibility there is. That's where I'm trusting my intuition. It's a balance. And sometimes I don't do very well in that balance. Sometimes my human side takes over, and sometimes I ignore, seeing that higher perspective, because I am human. And sometimes the human side, the human experience is really freaking difficult. But we always say, don't look at the physical evidence. Don't look at the data, so to speak. Look beyond it. It's not so much that physical reality is illusion. It's tangible. It's real. It's happening. We accept that as it's happening. But it's that there's more that's happening underneath the surface. There's an energy that exists and that plays a part in it as well. We see a desk here, right? We see a very physical object. I can touch it. I can feel it. I can hear it. It's a physical object. What we don't see, or what we don't perceive, is the molecules spinning at such a fast vibration that it creates this desk. It's all energy. And so the more that we understand, especially when it comes to the experiences that we have, it's not just surface level. It's not just face value. There's more that's happening underneath the surface. Take a example of social media. Social media is not all there is to a person. Social media is, even though, for example, for myself, even as transparent and open as I am, there are still things that I keep private, still things that I keep sacred. What you see is not all that I am. It's a lot of who I am, because I share a lot of who I am, but it's not all of who I am. The people in your life, people have entire worlds within them. Every single person has an entire world and universe within them. And we only get snapshots. And the deeper the connection, the more intimate and vulnerable we become with one another, the more we are able to see and understand. That is spirituality in a nutshell. That is the ascension journey in a nutshell. Is that there is more than meets the eye. There is more to you and me. There is more to this world. There's more to the universe. And we keep, the more intimately connected we become with ourselves, the more we understand that. And you bring that down to a micro level, and you understand that with connection, especially with romantic relationships, partnerships, especially sacred partnerships, are the most intimate connections that we have. They're your partners. In every sense of the word, they're your partners. And so you experience that connection and that deep connection. And the more intimate and vulnerable you become with one another, the more you understand each other, the more you see the whole of each other. That doesn't happen with everybody in the world. It's not meant to. We are meant to be community. We are meant to come together. We are meant to accept each other without judgment and love each other. But that doesn't mean that you have to have intimate connections with everybody. And I mean emotional intimacy with everybody. We have our soul families. We have our soul groups. And that's who we allow ourselves to trust and open up to. And especially when it comes to our partner, that's our most intimate connection. I forget why I got off on that tangent. You guys can remind me in the comments. Queen of Swords. I feel like two energies coming through here. The Knight of Wands as well. So I was going to say I feel like this is feminine energy. So there's two messages coming through here. I feel like this is feminine and I feel like this is masculine. You see the King of Wands here. This energy, this card gives me this energy of like planning, strategizing. It's also maybe even an energy of scheming, but it's not in a negative connotation. It's just planning, strategizing, trying to figure out a way to break through your boundaries is what I'm hearing. No, boundaries is not the right word. It's walls. Let me tell you the first two messages I was getting here first. So this is Queen of Swords, and it's giving me this feminine energy. I feel like divine feminine, you can feel that there's communication coming through. You can feel and understand. Your intuition is telling you the truth. Like, this is your radar here. That sword there is your radar. You can detect the truth because you're trusting your intuition, because you are the high priestess. But you also have your boundaries, your healthy boundaries. There's a little bit of fear for you as well. You guys are mirroring each other. There's a little bit of fear for you as well. Who is he going to be when he comes in? Is there going to have been growth, transformation, change? As I've changed, as I've grown, as I've transformed, as I've shifted and allowed myself to shift. Is this connection going to be different? Is it going to shift? What's the communication going to be like? What's going to be said? What are the words that are going to be said? And not only that, but what's the energy behind the words? Are the actions going to align with the words? Divine Feminine, do you have a little bit of fear about this communication as well? And even though I feel like you're both desiring it, you're both approaching it from two different vantage points, two different angles. And that's who you are as counterparts. You're two sides to the same coin. You approach this journey differently, even though you are the same. And so it's like that garden. You know, you both cultivate the same garden, but from two different angles. And then you step back and you're like, look what we've created. Look at this wonder that we've created, this beauty that we've created, this connection that we've created. So you're both kind of mirroring each other. But the King of Wands is like really contemplating this. They're really in their minds contemplating this and trying to figure out the best way to come forward that is not going to have you have your guard up. They're a little bit afraid of your tongue. They're a little bit afraid of what you might have to say. They're as much afraid of repeating the past as you are, because they don't want the past either. They want a healthier connection just as much as you do, but they're a little bit afraid of that you might. They've been holding themselves accountable. I'm hearing they've been holding themselves responsible. They've been doing a lot of healing, especially around this connection. And again, mistakes that they've made, decisions that they've made. Maybe it was that they weren't prioritizing you or this connection. Maybe it was that they weren't giving to this connection or putting the effort for this connection. Maybe it was that there were third-party situations or relationships. Everybody's scenario is going to be a little bit different. But they're recognizing that there were choices that they made that were unhealthy for the connection, that deeply affected and hurt you. They've been understanding this and recognizing this and taking responsibility for themselves, holding themselves accountable. But there's a little bit of fear here that I'm hearing the word lambast. I don't know another word for this. That's just the word that they're giving me. They're afraid that you're going to just kind of fire at them. That there's not going to be forgiveness here, that there's not going to be compassion and love. They're afraid that if they approach you, they're in such an energy right now, or they have been, through this healing of themselves, this taking responsibility and accountability for themselves. They've been in an energy of some guilt and some shame that they are shedding as they forgive themselves. And as they're forgiving themselves, they're wondering if you're forgiving of them. And I feel like on a soul level, they understand that you are. On a soul level, they feel your love and your compassion and your forgiveness. But they're working through this themselves. And as they work through this, it's almost, just getting cycles. Like 1 minute they're great and they want to come forward and they're just feeling so much love. And the next minute they're pulling back and there's fear and anxiety. And that fear and anxiety is coming up because they're going through that healing process. And so they're a little bit afraid that if they come forward, you're just going to just annihilate them with your words. You have to recognize that you've both shifted and transformed. And if you are in an energy where you want to annihilate them with your words, then you've got some healing to do too. So you've got some work to do. That doesn't mean that you sweep things under the rug, but open and honest conversations, vulnerable and intimate conversations from a new energy, from a new place of communicating, not from the wounded state anymore, but from a connected energy. And so I feel like they are trying to figure out how to come through, how to come in, how to communicate, how to take action towards this in a way that, number one, they won't be wounded again. They won't be, just because you have the ability to hurt them, Divine Feminines. You do. And that's what the Divine Masculine feels. This love is so strong. This love is so powerful. They feel like you have the power to just completely wreck them and destroy them. They're beginning to trust in you and this connection. They're beginning to honor you and trust that, number one, you would never do that. Number two, that's would never be your intention. Number three, you would never do that. You would never do that. But it's not been easy for them to understand that because they've been so hurt by relationships in the past, and the love that they have for you and the love that they know that you have for them is so strong, intense, and powerful that they feel like if you were to break their heart, it would completely wreck and destroy them. They also feel, I'm just getting this, it's interesting energy. I've never channeled this before. We've gotten deep into the Divine Masculines, the understanding of the Divine Masculine, but I've never quite channeled this. This feels really interesting. This feels like they're learning how to balance themselves out and how to heal. And it feels like they're learning how to trust themselves and trust you and trust the connection more. And because of that, I do feel like they want to come through. They want to come in and take action. They're just trying to figure out a way that is going to be healthy, in a way that's going to make the connection better, in a way that's going to start this over, knowing that you have a history together, knowing that you have a past, but to start over in the energy of love. That's what they truly want. We have the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. The King of Pentacles, the Pentacles energy, the Queen and King of Pentacles is my favorite right now because it's very stable, sincere, and grounded, very nurturing. They want to give to you. They want to provide for you. They want you to feel safe with them, with this connection, with the love that you feel for each other. So I do feel like your person, again, is planning this, is wanting to come forward, is trying to think about how to come forward. And he is in his king energy. He is very stable. there's just a balancing out that's happening within his own emotions. There's a process that's being undergone for the divine masculine. There's still this healing that's taking place, and there's this balancing out that's taking place. Anything else that we need to know for this union? Seven of Pentacles and the Lovers. It's unfolding. You guys have planted these seeds together. Again, we had that energy of patience. Have a little bit of patience. And I know we've had patience. And it's not patience as in waiting. It's patience as in faith. Believe in love. Believe in the power of love. Trust in the universe. Trust in yourself. Just keep walking your path. Keep focused on your path. Keep focused on bringing love and joy and light to your life. In whatever way that seems. Keep inviting in love whether it comes to a family member or a pet or your job, your work that you love, your friends, even if it comes to other partnerships. Keep inviting in love, and love will continue to be revealed to you because you have the Lovers, and look at how they're holding hands like that. And you even have the two cats that have the little heart there. You guys see that? That are entwined. This is a sacred partnership. And it's almost like you're burning away the past together. But I feel like this is happening energetically so that you can align in your physical world in a healthier connection. King of Swords at the bottom of the deck as well. A lot of kings being represented here. Your person has stepped into the energy of king. I feel like they have overcome a lot of immaturity. I feel especially emotional immaturity. I feel like there's been this energy of I've grown up. I see things more clearly now. I see myself more clearly now. I want to be the masculine that you deserve. And I want to be, too, the masculine that I deserve as well. That's what your partner is saying. They want to be the person that you deserve, and that they know that they deserve to be their highest potential, their highest self. All right, we'll come back with some more written channelings. So make sure you're staying tuned to all my social media platforms. And we'll come back next week and do a deeper dive into a Sacred Union energy update. I'm sending you all so much love and light. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon.